Hello and bookworms! Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. We're looking at Phantasma by Kylie Smith. Now, when I was in London over Christmas, we were in Borders. We were in this beautiful big bookstore. And I will say, I'm very proud of myself. I left that bookstore without buying a single thing. Genuinely without buying a single thing. And I think it's because it was so close to Christmas that I wasn't sure which books people had bought me. But I saw the hardback version of Phantasma, and I had a look at it, and I was like, oh, should I, shouldn't I? And then I put it on my list, and someone lovingly got it for me. Thank you so much, Jessica. But my God, so I'm really, I loved this book. So essentially what it is you've got Phantasma, and there's only 2 rules to the game. Stay alive, don't fall in love. Nice and easy, 2 rules. And so you've got Ophelia and her sister. Their mum dies. So they have the gift. They have a gift where they can talk to the dead. So they're like necromancers, essentially. And the mum unfortunately passes away, and Ophelia gets all of her mum's power because that's how it's passed on. And then she realizes that actually there's a lot more going on that she wasn't aware of. And she needs her sister is like, oh, I'm going to enter these games because you get 1 wish when you win it. And when you win it and you get this 1 wish, I can then make sure that we're all okay and we don't have to worry for anything. And so Ophelia's like, no, let's go in after you. And so it then goes through, you've got the 7 levels of hell. And you've got you've got Blackwell, so this is the thing, right? Is obviously if one of the 2 rules of the game is don't fall in love, what do you think our main person is going to be doing, Ophelia? Of course she's going to be falling in love. But what I love is that you've got Blackwell is a bit of an arrogant, and they're not sure if he's a phantom or what he is. And basically he's sort of helping Ophelia through, because every game he chooses a victor and backs them and tries to give them an edge. But obviously a romance blooms between Blackwell and Ophelia, and it's quite interesting to see Ophelia trying to help Blackwell trying to help Ophelia realizing that there's more to her than just being, her mother's ward, as it were, to carry on the family name. And it's so good. But the one thing I really, really loved about this as well is our main lass, Ophelia, she has OCD. And I think it is presented in this in such a clever way that it's part of the story and it's not sort of jarring, but it's a case of she's got the voice in her head that goes, right, if you don't knock 3 times, someone's going to die. And then when her mum dies, she then starts doubting herself. And she's like, did I knock enough on the doors? Did I do my bedtime routine? Did I not do this? Did I do that? And so while she's going through these horrific ordeals and trying to figure out what happened and how to get Blackwell out of his deal, she's still battling OCD as well. And what it does is when you enter Phantasma, it takes your greatest fear and it throws it at you at some point during the games. And obviously her greatest fear is that this voice in her head will be an actual real thing with real consequences. And it was so brilliantly done. And it took me a while to realise, and this is why I think it was really well done, because it took me a while to realise that this was actually one of her character traits. And it wasn't until I was there was one bit and I was like, I swear that's my co-worker. And so I looked into it and I found out obviously she did. But it didn't. So I find sometimes when they try and add a trait onto someone, they don't do it well. And sometimes you're like, oh, they're just adding it to further the book. But the way that this was added and the way that this was dealt with was so beautifully done that genuinely I think everybody needs to give it a whirl. And although it is obviously a little bit of fantasy and there's a little bit of sun in there, there's not as much in there. So if you're looking for sort of fairy smut, there's not really fairy smut, but there is maybe fairy smut adjacent. But I really enjoyed it. I would say give it a go. Get it in hardback, paperback, library, audiobook, however you want to do it. And let me know below in the comments if you like it. Let me know your sort of favourite fantasy book along these lines, because I know I've done quite a few of them now on the channel. And if there's any that you would recommend that I should read that I've not done, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe for my channel, and thank you so much for your continued support. And remember to always keep it contento.